Hey you, yes, you with the amazing taste and YouTube channels. Welcome to Knowmad, the place where curiosity goes rogue and takes you with it. This is where history, culture, language, and life's strangest rabbit holes all collide. If you've ever wondered to know why the French Revolution sounds like a punk rock concert, or what the hell Camus was smoking, you're in the right place. Now, full disclaimer, this is our very first episode. The editing's rough. The transitions questionable. The mic probably held together with tape and blind faith. But hey, every revolution starts somewhere, right? So buckle up, stay curious, and welcome to the Nomad tribe. Today's question: why do humans need stories? Not like why do we like stories, but why we literally need them. Let's find out. Why do humans need stories? Why do we cry over imaginary people in a dark room with popcorn? What is it about stories that make us care so much about people who don't exist? How can made up events feel more real than reality itself? So, apparently, humans are the only species that pay to sit in a dark room in silence and feel genuine emotions about entirely fictional characters. Whether it's gasping when Ned Stark loses his head, cheering as Frodo throws the ring into Mount Doom, or feeling your soul momentarily leave your body when a character dies in your favorite anime. Yes, I'm looking at you, Ace from One Piece. We are hopelessly hooked. We don't just like stories, we need them. Just ask anyone who's ever sat riveted by the tale of Icarus flying too close to the sun, or cried over the death of Mufasa despite knowing it's coming every single time, or found themselves haunted by the tale of Karna from Mahabharata, the tragic hero who fought on the wrong side. Stories don't just entertain us, they possess us. We binge them, we share them, we fight over them in Reddit comment sections. And it's not a modern problem. Story addiction goes back, way back. As in cave paintings and please don't get eaten by the lion again, back. In fact, we've been at this for a long time. Take the tale of Sinuhe from ancient Egypt, a story about exile, identity, and homecoming. Or Popol Vuh from the Mayan culture, when its hero twins in epic battles against the lord of the underworld. Or Scheherazade, who told stories for 1001 nights just to avoid execution. Or even the Panchtantra, a collection of fables from ancient India where animals teach deep human lessons, passed down orally long before they were written down. From Egyptian parables to Mayan myths to Sanskrit fables, the world's most enduring stories are proof that humans have always been, well, a bit obsessed. But why are we wired this way? Let's find out. Evolutionary roots. Why did early humans tell stories instead of drawing up survival manuals? How did storytelling become a matter of life and death? The human brain is a meaning-making, pattern-hungry machine. And storytelling? It's our brain's favorite snack. Evolutionary psychologists argue that storytelling is actually a survival tool. Imagine you're in the Paleolithic era. You just watched your buddy Grog get flattened by a mammoth. The smart move? Don't do what Grog did. But how do you remember that? A good story. Instead of giving each other PowerPoint presentations, early humans sat around fires going, okay, so Grog thought he could pet the mammoth. Spoiler, he couldn't. Stories were simulations, mental rehearsals for real life dangers. They were how we learned before textbooks, before schools, before YouTube. First known stories. What is the oldest tale ever told? Why did humans start preserving stories before preserving food? Some of our earliest written stories come from Mesopotamia. The Epic of Gilgamesh is older than Homer, older than Moses, older than most conspiracy theories. It's a story about a powerful king Gilgamesh who befriends a wild man named Enkidu. After Enkidu dies, Gilgamesh sets out on a quest to find the secret to eternal life, only to learn that immortality is not for mortals. It's a tale of friendship, grief, the fear of death, and the search for meaning. But even before writing, we had oral traditions. Storytellers, griots, shamans, elders, passing down myths, morals, and memories. Cave paintings from places like Lascaux in France, they were basically the prehistoric version of Instagram stories. Hey, here's what I hunted today. But deeper than that, they narrated. In Aboriginal Australian culture, the Dreamtime stories aren't just tales. They're maps of existence, of land, of law. Stories are a part of a larger pattern. Take Homer's epics, the Iliad and Odyssey, for example. The story of gods, demigods, and humans all tangled in war. Or think of the Babylonian Enuma Elish, which tells of gods battling chaos to create the world. Or the Norse sagas, grim, poetic, obsessed with fate. Or the Jatak tales from India, stories of Buddha's past lives, teachings, compassion, humility, and sometimes the danger of being a greedy monkey. The point is, wherever you go in the world, someone was telling a story. Because that's how we made sense of being alive. Stories create culture. Why do stories outlast empires? What makes a tale powerful enough to define an entire group of people? Stories aren't just how we survive, they're how we belong. Think of the Greeks. Homer's Iliad and Odyssey weren't just beach reads, they were civilizational blueprints. Odysseus was a model of cunning and cleverness, Achilles the icon of rage and honor. The stories you tell define what you value. Religion? All stories. Foundational, epic, and layered. The Ramayana and Mahabharata aren't just tales, they're moral frameworks. The Torah, the Bible, the Quran, narrative systems of belief. Even smaller cultural myths matter. We're the land of the free, a family never gives up, this town has a curse. Stories are the framework of morality. And here's where it gets really interesting. Many of these stories come laced with supernatural elements. Myths of God throwing thunderbolts, oracles that predict doom, spirits that haunt, curses that linger through generations. These weren't just ghost stories, they were society's first legal system. Break a taboo, anger the gods. Do good, get blessed. The fear of divine retribution or karmic backlash was a handy way to make sure you did not steal your neighbor's goat. Myths work like moral software, constantly running in the background, shaping what a culture deemed right or wrong. Even today, stories keep playing that role. Sure, we've got laws now, but morality? It still arrives gift-wrapped in fiction. From Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird to Samwise Gamgee in The Lord of the Rings. We still learn what's right from the people who don't exist. Our mythologies have simply put on new clothes. Even in modern epics like The Matrix, we explore questions of reality, choice and destiny through fictionalized worlds. In a way, your identity is just a story you've accepted about yourself. The brain on story. How does your brain react to a story? Why do fictional events feel so intensely real? Now, biologically, your brain loves a story. When you're watching a tense scene, your heart rate actually rises. When a character cries, your brain releases oxytocin, the same chemical triggered by real life empathy. Your neurons fire as if you are in the story. Psychologists call this narrative transportation. It's when you get so absorbed in a story, reality takes a backseat. That's why we remember facts better when they're wrapped in narrative. It's why a list of stats bores you, but a story about one person makes you care. Also, fun fact, your brain processes metaphors using the same regions it uses for physical experience. So when someone says he had a rough day, your brain lights up as if you had a rough day. Story isn't just mental, it's sensory. Modern stories. What do memes, TikToks, and political ads have in common? Why is everything a story now? Even your Instagram bio. So you think storytelling is just Shakespeare and old men in robes? Think again. TikToks, stories. Memes, tiny stories in image form. Podcasts, audiobooks, fan fiction, it's all narrative. Even your dating profile is a curated story of you, the quirky overthinker who hikes and loves sushi. We used to gather around fire pits. Now we gather around ring lights. Even brands sell you stories. Apple isn't just selling phones, they're selling rebellion, simplicity, you. Every political campaign, narrative warfare. Every viral video, emotional bait wrapped in plot. We are so surrounded by stories we don't even notice we're breathing them. Why we still need them? Why do we still return to stories when we already have science, law, and logic? What do stories offer that nothing else can? And why can't we stop? Because stories help us cope. They give structure to the chaos. They let us rehearse grief, laugh at tragedy, make sense of the absurd. Stories are the closest we get to mind melding. They are empathy delivery systems. And here's the kicker. The more fragmented and fast-paced the world gets, the more we crave stories. They anchor us. They remind us that someone else has felt what we are feeling, that we're not alone. Even though much of our morality has already been defined, codified into laws, ethics, social contracts, we still return to stories. Not because we need instructions, but because we need understanding. Stories let us re-examine right and wrong, not as rigid binaries but as nuanced lived experiences. Stories from around the world. How strange can stories get? What tales do cultures tell to warn, to teach, to remember? Want weird? Let's hop on the cosmic scooter of absurdity and see where it takes us. Here's weird. Inuit communities tell cautionary tales about the Kalupiluit, creatures that snatch misbehaving children through cracks in the ice. In West Africa, the trickster god Anansi teaches moral lessons by being immoral. In West Bengal in India, the tale of Brahmaditya, a benevolent ghost of a learned Brahmin, reminds people to respect knowledge and morality, even from the other side. Or what about the Japanese legend of Kuchisake Onna, the slit-mouthed woman who stalks you with the question, "Am I pretty?" A chilling tale meant to instill humility and obedience. Stories aren't just mirrors, they are masks, exaggerations, experiments. They twist reality to reveal the truth. A fairy tale might sound silly, but encoded in it is a warning, a wish, a worldview. Even jokes are mini stories. An Englishman, a Scotsman, and an Irishman walk into a bar. It sets up a scenario, a structure, an expectation. The punchline? That's the twist in the tale. All stories, all attempts to make sense of chaos through laughter, terror, or wonder. So when people say it's just a story, maybe ask, what truth is it sneaking past your defenses? So why do we keep returning to stories again and again? Yeah, maybe we're just highly evolved gossip machines. Shahzad with a Wi-Fi connection or Grog with a podcast mic. Storytelling is how we turned grunts into Shakespeare, cave drawings into Marvel multiverses, bedtime myths into existential therapy. Because let's be honest, gossip is just storytelling with lower production value. But maybe that's the point. We don't just want to live, we want to understand living. We want to give names to feelings, shape to chaos, arcs to randomness. And stories, they do that. They are the shared hallucinations that tell us who we are. And if you're watching this, well, you're living proof. So, what's your story? And stick around because I have plenty more to tell. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, let's be honest, you're probably one of my friends. Like, subscribe, comment, do all of these things. See you in the next video. Ta-da!